Yeah, back bends are the name of the game today. So we're going to do a lot of front body opening, a lot of posterior chain strengthening, a lot of strengthening in the back of the body, a lot of opening of the front of the body. With that said, if you'd start in a seat, that would be lovely. And if you have if it feels comfortable and you're so inclined to do so, maybe try sitting in Virasana, hero's pose, which is with your hips in between your ankles. And you can use a prop. I usually need a prop when I first come into this pose. Like towards the end of class, I feel better about it. But you can sit up on a blanket or a block or a pillow just to start that front body opening conversation. And let your chest rise, let your shoulders soften, and if it feels safe, let your eyes fall shut. And take some big intentional breaths in and out. You're welcome to rest the backs of your hands on your thighs, palms facing up, just for a little bit of intentional placement. And take some big breaths in and some slow breaths out. And big breath in. Longer breath out. And take the biggest breath you've taken yet today. Everything fills, belly, ribs, chest, even the back body fills. Hold it. And sigh it out. Let's do that one more time. Bigger breath. Fill up. Hold. And sigh. You're welcome to keep your eyes closed. Bring your hands behind you, tenting the finger pads onto the mat so that the palms lift. Roll your shoulders back and lift your chest up. And have broad collarbones and think about your lowest ribs and start to pull them in towards one another and then in towards your spine. Now start to get a little bit more active in your feet, pushing them down into the ground. Lengthen your tailbone towards your knees. Take an inhale. And find more core activation in the exhale. And then on your inhale, lift your hips up and stretch your chest up. And just a little bit of a front body opening here. And again, slide the tailbone towards the knees. Scoop your pubic bone towards your face, lowest ribs in, sternum up, chin up. And take an inhale. And exhale, set the hips down. We're going to take a couple of pulses like this. Inhale, lift. And exhale, come down. Slow breaths. Inhale, lift. Maybe getting a little bit bigger each time. And exhale, down. And inhale, lift. And exhale, down. Biggest one yet. Inhale, lift. And try not to let the knees splay out. Try to isometrically squeeze them towards one another. And slowly come down. And then walk your hands in towards your pelvis. Lean to one side. And swing your legs around. And from here, bring your feet to the mat, knees point to the sky. Wrap your hands around the outside or behind your thighs. Lift your chest up, start to lean back, tone your low ribs in again, and find Navasana boat pose. Maybe keep your hands there, or if it feels comfortable, you're welcome to reach them forward, plugging the arm bones in. Lately, I've been liking pointing my toes to help kind of start to engage my calf muscles, which will help engage your posterior chain. Just really trying to bring some core strength here at the beginning of class. And take an inhale. And then exhale, chest continues to reach up. One more breath in. And stay for the exhale. And inhale, hug your knees in, cross your ankles. And just roll over your shins for a moment, just kind of round. You have that one more time. So Bring your feet back to the mat. And again, you can keep your feet here, you can keep your hands behind your thighs, or you can choose to lift them. Navasana. Chest proud. You're welcome to reach the arms forward, or if you'd like more of a challenge, you can reach them up. And choose where you want to go, but do pull the lowest ribs in. Make your spine and core strong. Take an inhale and stay for the exhale. One more breath in. And the exhale, cross your shins the other way, feet to the mat, and just round. Just hold that for a moment. And make your way to downward facing dog, please. This is my first down dog of the day. Maybe it's yours as well. So just kind of find some fluidity, maybe moving the knees back and forth. And find some stillness. And push the ground away actively. Lengthen your low back by pulling your hip creases more back. Tone your thighs if they're straight, but you're welcome to have your knees bent. Inhale, lift your right leg to the sky. Pause there, push into the ground. Maybe point the toes, or just one of them. You can see if you can do that. And turn your right hip down so that it's not opening up. And then see if you can lift the leg up higher using your right glutes. Take an inhale. And exhale, bring your right foot in between your hands. And lower your back knee for a moment. And tense your fingertips up to stretch the chest forward. And squeeze your back knee towards your front heel and your front heel towards your back knee. And if this makes your front knee travel over the ankle, then work your foot more forward for a little bit of a deeper stretch. And place your left hand down on the ground. And reach your right arm up. Twist. And continue to squeeze knee towards foot. And really activate your left glutes. You might feel a more intense stretch the front of your left thigh. Tone your tailbone in and twist your right ribs towards the sky and reach up out of your left shoulder. And take an inhale. Keep your body twisted. On the exhale, reach your right arm to the front of your mat and twist up more. So kind of like the side bend / twist. Take a breath in. Open up and reach more on the exhale. And look down. And place your hand down. And downward facing dog, please. Inhale the left leg up. Pause, point the toes. Tone the left hip down. And use the glutes to lift the leg up higher. If you want a calf stretch, you can start to sink the right heel towards the floor. Take a breath in. And exhale, step the foot in between your hands. Place the right knee down. And again, reach the chest forward for a moment and squeeze heel towards knee, knee towards heel. And that'll kind of help align your pelvis in a strong position. You can work the left foot forward if you'd like, or you can stay there, start to activate the left glutes. And place your right hand down and reach your left arm up, twist. And from start to finish, squeezing heel towards knee, knee towards heel. Outer hips active, especially the right back glute. And reaching the chest forward, pull your ears back in line with your shoulders, twist the left ribs up, stretch. Take an inhale. And twist more for the exhale. And keep the twist. Reach the left arm forward and twist open more. Take a breath in. And stay for the exhale, stretch and twist. And inhale, look down. And exhale, drop the hand, downward facing dog. And walk your hands back to your feet, please. Uttanasana, forward fold at the back of your mat. And just take a forward fold. That would feel nice. Don't really think about it too much. Bring your hands a little bit wider than shoulder width distance apart, and maybe about a foot in front of your feet. Bring your feet hip width distance apart, and grip the mat with your toes, and lift your kneecaps, lift your sitting bones, and tent your fingertips up just like we did before at the start of class. Palms lift so that only your fingerprints are on the ground. And then lift up halfway. Keep your hands where they are, but squeeze them back towards your feet. And you'll probably notice a reaching in the sternum. Now keep that reaching, keep that strong activation. Slide the shoulder blades back to make that a little bit even more active, and tone your, what is it called? Your navel up towards the sky. And strong halfway lift. Take an inhale, everything active, kneecaps lift, toes squeeze the ground, fingertips squeeze the ground. And then exhale, fold a little bit more completely this time. Heart stretches towards your ankles. One more time like that. Start with your toes, grip, lift the inner arches, lift the kneecaps, lift the hip points, and then use your finger pads to squeeze the heart forward. And hold that. Navel lifts, lowest ribs pull up. Take an inhale. Stay there for the exhale. Stretch a little bit more. Inhale. And exhale, fold. Bend your knees, make your head, spine, and arms heavy, and take 3 or 4 breaths to stand up. Once you get there, find Tadasana, mountain pose, palms face forward. You're welcome to let your eyes fall shut if that feels safe. Start to think about, or maybe trace back from the time you got out of bed, everything that's happened to help you get here, to this moment, to this space on your mat. All the things, all the work that had to happen for this moment to be possible. And then think about the work that you're in, the work that we're in together, right here on our mats together, sharing community and space energetically. And then think about taking this work that we do together off of our mats later. And blink your eyes open if they were closed. And come to the top of your mat, please. Bring your hands to your hips, bend your knees. And then think about your booty popping like you're at the club. You know, I usually say, don't do that, but now I want you to do that. And don't do it super dramatically, just a little bit, okay? Now this is gonna help us find some length in our lumbar spine already. So our lumbar spine is lengthening just by us doing that. But now let's try to do it more. And think about your lumbar spine from the front portion of your body as opposed to the back portion of your body. Because this is where we're really gonna find some activation to lengthen it. So from our pubic bone all the way up to just above our navel, we want to try to find more length there. So see if you can keep your booty popped, activate your glutes, and then find more length, and you'll start to notice your ribs lift up and away. And then when you find that, pull your lowest ribs in, and then start to squeeze them out with your feet again. Lift the inner arches of your ankles, keep all of this length, engage your glutes, straighten the legs, send your hips forward, and you'll notice the chest is immediately lifting up. Make your legs strong, take an inhale. And stay there for your exhale. And inhale, slowly stand up. And just watch that sensation leave. Now bring your feet together. Reach your arms up, interlace your hands. And find that same kind of booty pop, just to barely there. Find that same length in the front part of your body. Start to lift the ribs up. Lift the ribs up, and then stand up, straighten your legs, and reach up. Take an inhale. And on your exhale, send your hips to the right and stretch to the left. You can pull your right arm over to the left, with your left hand if you like. And then send a lot of breath to the right side of your body. A lot of breath to the ribs, as if you could get them to touch the corner of your ceiling. Take an inhale, really stomp that right leg down. And stay for your exhale. Inhale, slowly come up. And exhale, hips to the left, side bend to the right. And try to find those strong glutes, strong feet, strong thighs. Really puff up the ribs. Long, long left side of your body from left hip to left armpit. Take an inhale. Stay for your exhale. Inhale, slowly come up. And exhale your hands to heart center. Whew, that's no joke, right? Did this online workshop. And she had us hold that pose. Phelan did the same workshop for, I swear to you, it was at least a minute. It was like the most, and it was a super big, like there was all these kind of crazy poses in it. And it was the most intense pose that we did the whole time. Anyway, we're gonna do it again though, so just hold on. Bring your hands to your hips. Attitude asana. Look down at your left foot. Make it really strong. So start to grip the mat with your toes so that the inner arches of that left foot lifts. And then keep that activation and send your right leg towards the back of your mat in a lunge. Then keep that foot active and bring your fingertips to the ground. And then start to squeegee your right leg back, so much so that your right thigh is almost parallel to the mat. So not sinking down, but actively lifting up. And then turn that right hip forward and down. Squeeze your outer hips in. Keep gripping the mat with your left toes and reach up for a high crescent. There you go. Now, think a little bit about lengthening that same part of your body. Interlace your hands, the same front side of your body. And lift your ribs away from your navel. Pull your lowest ribs in. Pull your arms back as far as they go. Lift your sternum up towards the sky and hold. And keep activating your belly a lot. Tone your tailbone in. Take an inhale. Stay there for your exhale. Inhale, lift your ribs back to neutral. And exhale, step forward, attitude asana. Whew, you feeling the energy? Feeling sympathetic nervous system kicking in as we do our back bends. And look down at your right toes, grip the mat. You can experiment with that. And it's less about the toes gripping, but look at your inner ankle and notice the sensation in the inner ankle, right where your arch, your longitudinal arch is, the middle arch. And try to lift it up. Yeah, that active lift will help both your forward folds and your back bends, and you'll see in a moment. Now, send your left leg back. And bring your fingertips to the ground, squeegee that left foot back. And keep your right foot super active. And firm your thigh away from the mat and turn your left hip forward. And then squeeze your outer hips in for stability, belly in, tailbone in, reach up. High crescent, maybe even sinking the right hip in line with the right knee. Interlace your hands the other way. Tone the tailbone in. Lengthen the low belly. Lift your ribs up, pull your arms back, lift your sternum up, maybe even look up. Breathe in. And stay there, breathe out. Firm left thigh, inhale, slowly lift the chest. And exhale, step forward, attitude asana. Whew, you feel it? Do you feel it? One more time, feet together. A little bit of a booty pop, barely. Lengthen up, then unpop the booty. Pull your ribs in, reach your arms up, interlace your hands the other way. So probably the awkward way. This time send your hips to the left first. Puff up your ribs to the left. Stomp your left foot down, grip the mat, lift the inner arch, straighten the leg, and then start to side bend. Just finding some freedom for our back bends. And take a breath in. Stay there for the exhale, a little bit more of a side bend. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hips to the right. Puff up the ribs. So start to fan them. I like to think of fanning them open. Stomp the right foot down, right thigh straight. hips to the right, side bend. Stretch to the left. Take an inhale. And stay for your exhale. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, hands to heart center. That's fun, right? You feel that? I feel it. You may not. Whatever. Your side bending is superior. I wasn't asking for your opinion. All right. Come to the center of your mat, please. And reach your arms out long. And then separate your ankles about as wide as your wrists are. Yeah. Now lift your right toes up, look over your right shoulder, and spiral your right foot forward towards the back of your mat. Bend into your right knee for a Virabhadrasana B stance. There you go. And then bring your right forearm to your right thigh. Sweep your left arm under and over, Utthita Parshvottanasana, extended side angle. And here, think about lifting the inner arch of your feet. It'll help you find some strength. And then squeeze the feet towards one another. And firm the tailbone in. Push your hips almost to the left. And then start to side bend here. And tuck your right shoulder forward. And squeeze the shoulder blade back. Take an inhale. Stay for your exhale. Through Warrior 2, inhale, come up. And exhale, straighten that leg. Turn all 10 toes towards the long edge of your mat. Look at your left toes, lift them up, then spiral the foot forward. Then bend into that knee, Virabhadrasana B. Then left forearm, left thigh, right arm under and over. Utthita Parshvottanasana, extended side angle. Grip the mat with your toes. Firm your outer hips, both of them. Left glute sweeps under, left rib sweep under, right rib sweep up. Stretch towards the front of your mat. Take an inhale. Stay for your exhale. Via Warrior 2, inhale, come up. Exhale, straighten. All 10 toes. Wide-legged Adho-Uttanasana, hands to hips. Bring your feet in about 6 inches on either side. Bend your knees. And bring your hands to your tailbone. Then pop your booty out a little bit again. Yeah, so this is going to be a more intense version of what I would teach. I do this sometimes in super stretch, but it's going to be way worse, just so you know, just heads up. Now find that same length. So think pubic bone almost to the xiphoid process, which is the lowest part of your sternum. Try to lengthen it up so that your ribs start to lift away from your pelvis. And then pull your lowest ribs towards one another and in towards the spine. And then straighten the legs, engage your glutes, send the hips forward, and your chest will already be reaching up. Then start to reach your chest more up. Low ribs stay in, so try not to flay them out too much. Really stretching the inner thighs and hip flexors here. You can check in with your glutes because your hands are there. Are they engaged? Tailbone lengthens under. Take an inhale. Lift up more for the exhale. Inhale, slowly come up. Whew. Exhale, step or hop your feet together. And come to the top of your mat. And bring your feet together for this one. And bend your knees until your fingertips touch the ground. Palms face in. Then sink your hips down. There you go. And then reach your fingertips forward and stretch your chest forward just like we did in that halfway lift. Yeah, use your fingertips to help that isometric contraction. And lengthen your low back. So same thing, front portion lifts up a little bit. Now try to keep your thighs at this depth and bring your hands to heart center. Lift your chest up so thighs don't move. And take an inhale. Then on your exhale, start to twist to the right. Hook your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Then push your palms together so that your elbow points to the sky and your sternum's reaching towards your thumbs. And squeeze the mat with your toes. Sink your thighs down. Activate your outer glutes. Pull your left hip back and stretch your ribs towards the sky. Take an inhale. Stay here for your exhale. Legs don't move. Inhale, hands through center. Exhale, twist to the left. Hook the right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Push the hands together so the sternum lifts. And try to sink the hips down. Pull your right thigh bone back. And stretch the heart forward, but the ribs up. Try and lengthen your neck by pulling your ears in line with your shoulders. Take an inhale and stay for your exhale. Inhale, heart through center. Exhale, stand, release. Please come down to your belly. Find some soothing music, your teddy bear, a pillow, and a blanket. I'm going to turn the screen off, and you just be here for about 35 minutes, okay? You don't have to tell anybody about it. It'll be our little secret. You tell everyone you did yoga, but really we took a nap. Just kidding. Too stimulated with all this stuff yet. Okay, so one at a time, lengthen your legs up and out of the pelvis and back. There you go. Now start to push the tops of your feet into the ground. So both forward folds and back bends start in your feet. Push the tops of your feet into the ground, and your kneecaps will probably lift off of the ground. Let that happen. And then point your kneecaps towards the ground, which may mean that you need your feet a little bit wider, and that's okay. Just trying to find a little bit of internal rotation in your hip. Now see if you can maintain that and tone your tailbone in, pushing your pubic bone down into the ground. Engage your glutes. Now bring your hands to about nipple line and squeeze your elbows up and together. Roll your shoulder blades back. Keep toning your tailbone down. Keep pushing your feet down. And lift your navel up away from the mat. And lift your heart up first. Don't use your hands. You can even hover them to really engage the back of your body. Keep pushing everything down, and then bring the hands down. If you want to go deeper, lift and straighten the arms. Keep your pelvis glued to the earth, but try to find that same length that you did at the front side of your body. So not collapsing in the lumbar spine, pulling the navel away from the pubic bone, the sternum away from the navel. Shoulder blades squeeze down. Bhujangasana, cobra pose. Take a breath in and stay for your exhale. One more breath in and exhale, slowly come down. Bring a cheek to the mat and shake your hips from side to side. So cobra is actually a deeper back bend than up dog. A lot of people think it's reverse, but cobra is usually cued true cobra. What is that? Who's to say what's true cobra way? But the way that a lot of people cue it is will be pretty intense. So now try to find those same activations in your legs and in your pubic bone. So push down, kneecaps lift, point down, push the hips down. Now we're going to really focus on that same kind of squeezing the heart through the shoulders like we did in those halfway lifts. We're going to take Bhujangasana again. So bring your hands about nipple in again. If you want to go even deeper, you can walk them a little bit farther back. Just know that that'll make your pelvis lift often, and that's not what we're going for. So squeeze the elbows up, roll the shoulder blades back, tone your navel, push your feet down, take an inhale. Navel lifts on the exhale, tailbone in, and then inhale, lift the chest first with the back muscles, and exhale, push. Then grip the mat strongly with your fingertips, and think about pulling the heart forward, chest up, lengthen through the low portion of your belly. And tailbone firms in to protect your low back, and really push down. Kneecaps continue to point down, maybe straighten into the arms a little bit more. Take an inhale. It is very hard to talk in deep back bends. Stay for your exhale. One more breath in. Exhale, slowly come down. Bring the other cheek to the mat. Shake your hips from side to side. Whew, so if you didn't know, I usually say this, back bending stimulates your sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight or flight. So if you're feeling like running off your mat or sending me a nasty email, that's what's happening. It's back bending. That's what I blame all of our complaints on. It's just another person back bending too much. Right, Amy? Amy's doing the tech. She just heard me ranting earlier. That's not true. That's not. All right, now come to Sphinx pose. And bring your forearms to the mat. Wide fingertips. Elbows a little bit wider than your shoulders, but right under them. Find those same activations in your feet and your knees and your thighs and your hips and your pelvis. Grip the mat strongly and pull the heart forward and up. Now keep that action in your spine. Point both feet towards the sky, and then again find that internal rotation so that your knees point backwards in space. Now, fun part, see if you can cross your right foot in front of the left, which means your right foot will be closest to your head. Crisscross your shins, and then look over your shoulders and see if you got it right. Was it your right foot or was it your left foot? It's harder than you think, proprioception. Now, squeeze your heart forward. Start to kick your feet towards your glutes, but resist. So your shins are actively pushing together. Push your tailbone down. This will really fire up your posterior chain. And shins resist each other and pull your heart through. Push your hips down. Lengthen that same space in your low belly. Take an inhale, squeeze, and stay for your exhale. It's okay to shake. One more inhale. And the exhale, slow. Come down. Shake your hips from side to side. Oh my God. Sorry I make you do that. But you gotta do it again. You gotta do the other side. So come back up to Sphinx pose, please. Just preparing your posterior chain. That's what we're doing. Oh my God. Okay. Sphinx pose. Lift the chest. Find that activation in the chest. Squeeze it forward. Point both toes towards the sky, and then point the knees back. See if you can bring the left foot in front of the right this time. Squeeze your knees together. And keep gripping the mat, isometrically squeezing your elbows back. Pubic bone pushes down. Chest lifts up. Tailbone in. Navel in. And then resist. So squeeze your shins together. Try to get your feet to touch your glutes, but don't let that happen with the opposite foot. So you're just squeezing, maybe your hamstrings are cramping like mine are. Oh my God. Take an inhale and stay for your exhale. One more breath in and slowly come down. Shake your hips from side to side. Oh my God. So hamstrings are super important for back bending, just so you know. All right. And push back for a moment, child's pose. Just take a little bit of a counter to that. Give our low back some freedom. Shake your hips. And find downward facing dog, please. It's a really good counter as well to back bending. And look your hands back towards your feet. And lift up halfway, bring your hands to your hips, roll your shoulders on your back, and stand up. Okay, next one. Bend your left knee. Lift your right knee to your chest. And then externally rotate the right thigh, crisscross applesauce, preparing for Garudasana legs. So either stay here or bring the outside of your right ankle against the left calf, or wrap it around twice. Your choice, either of those will work. Then pull your right hip back, reach your arms out, and bring your right arm under left, and either stay there, bring the backs of the hands together, capture your shoulders, or wrap the wrists. And lengthen your tailbone back, lift your chest up, lift your elbows up, push your forearms forward. Take an inhale. Stay for the exhale. One more breath in. Staying for the exhale, maybe sink into it. Inhale, slowly come up, unwrap. Exhale, place the foot down. Bend into the left knee. And lift your left or right knee. Lift your left knee to your chest. External rotation, crisscross once. Maybe ankle to calf, maybe wrap twice. Then pull that hip back. And reach your arms out and really try to find a lot of side length here. And then the left arm crosses over, right arm crosses over that, and then wrap where you want. And take an inhale to lift up the chest, to lift up the forearms, push them forward, and sink on the exhale. Garudasana. Breathe in, and stay there, breathe out. One more inhale. One more exhale. Inhale, slowly unwrap, stand. And exhale the foot down, shake it out. And come to the top of your mat. Hands to hips. Step your right leg back, bring your fingertips to the ground. Squeegee the foot back so it's a nice, long line. Now, inhale, come up for a crescent lunge. Maybe a little bit deeper variation this time. Grab your right wrist with your left hand and reach up, side bend. Just like we did before. Fan your right ribs open, push them up towards the top of the ceiling, but don't let that right hip open up. Turn it forward. Firm thigh. Take an inhale. Stay for the exhale. Inhale, reach up. We're not stepping forward. Just like Garudasana, cross your forearm across the body, hook it, prayer hands, push. Lift your chest up. Firm glutes, especially the right one. Squeeze your feet towards one another. Lift your sternum towards your thumbs. Take an inhale. Stay for the exhale. Inhale, reach your arms up. And exhale, step to the top of your mat. Attitude Asana. And step your left leg back. Hands to the mat. Squeeze the foot back so that your thighs almost parallel to the ground. And find those strong feet again. Really trying to find the feet. There you go. Turn your left hip forward, reach up. Ashtha Chandrasana, crescent lunge. And grab your left wrist with your right hand this time. First, reach up. And then fan the ribs up and open, side bend. Keep turning your left hip forward as you fan the left ribs back. Take an inhale. Make your legs strong for the exhale. Inhale, reach up. Just like Garudasana, first cross over, then hook the elbow. Hands in prayer, push. Grip your mat strongly. Firm your left thigh away from the mat, twist your ribs up. Take an inhale. Stay there for your exhale. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, top of your mat, Attitude Asana. Whew. Okay. Sit down, please. I should have been more specific. Sit down in between your ankles again. So this is a good place to have your prop. Now you're welcome to stay here in Virasana. Make sure your knees feel okay. You should feel a little bit of a stretch in the front of your knees. But if you start to feel any type of torque or tension or sharpness on the inside of the knees, then you've gone way too far and you need to come out of it. From here, once again, bring your hands behind you. This time, only lift up your hips a little bit. And then lengthen your tailbone towards your knees. And then bring your hips back down, bend to the elbows. Now you can stay there for that stretch. Or take it a little bit farther, walk your hands back. Once again, lift your hips up just a little bit, lengthen your tailbone towards your knees, and bring the hips back down. Maybe coming down to your forearms. If you want to take it a little bit farther, we're going to be here for a good 30 seconds. Lift your hips up, lengthen your tailbone towards the knees. Maybe come down to your shoulders. You're welcome to use any props to facilitate that, but make sure your knees stay grounded. So your knees are not lifting. If your knees are lifting, you've gone too far and they're at risk of bad things. Someone's going to send them a bad email. So don't do that. I'll just take a moment to really think about lengthening your tailbone towards your knees, and then do it, and scoop your pubic bone towards your face. Feet are super active. So Supta Virasana is a back bend. So your chest is lifting towards your chin. Your chin's lifting, stretching the whole front of the body. And find some steadiness and just be in the work. Be in the work that it is. Be in the work that is Supta Virasana. breathe in. And stay there, breathe out. And inhale slowly. Come to your forearms. And then up to your hands. And up to sitting. And then child's pose. Shake your hips. Take a nice counter stretch to that. What's next? What's next? What are we gonna do next, guys and girls and everybody? Everybody, what are you gonna do? What's that from, that voice? It's from something. Come up to kneel. Actually, know what? Sit on your ankles. Let's do this first. Oh, and I'm recording this class for M3 Online too. So it's gonna be forever cemented. You ever never mind. All right, pop your booty a little bit like we did before. It's like Dear Diary. That's what I think of sometimes as my classes. Like, Dear Diary, I am thinking this, and everyone needs to know it. Now try to find that same length in the front port, particularly that lower portion of your belly. So lift your ribs up and away from the pelvis. And pop your booty out a little bit more, but tone your low ribs in a little bit more. Now start to push the tops of your feet down into the ground, and you may even notice a little bit of a chest lift. And then reach your arms forward, palms down, and keep that length in the low belly. And imagine you're pushing down against pillars, and that might lift your sternum up even more. And then from there, come up to kneel, and you'll notice you're immediately in that back bend. There you go. Then push your hands down even more. Engage your glutes a lot, squeeze your knees in towards one another. Option to stay there, option to support your low back, or option to reach back for your ankles for Ustrasana camel pose. Keep lifting the sternum up, pushing the feet down. Take an inhale. Stay for your exhale. The inhale brings you back up. And exhale, child's pose. Shake your hips. Back bending. It's my song to you today. Come down to your back, please. Don't worry. You're nowhere near done. I promise just 3 more back bends. Just 3 more. All right. Grab your mat with your hands, like you're gripping onto it. Bring your feet hip-width distance apart, and then use your hands to help scoot your hips down towards your ankles. So don't bring your ankles in towards your hips. Scoot your sitting bones towards your ankles. So we're moving our spine around instead of moving our extremities around. This will actually bring us into a deeper back bend. Then start to roll your shoulders underneath you. Now, imagine your heels fanning your mat wider. And that'll engage your inner thighs. Then lift the inner ankles, start to engage your glutes, lift your hips, lift your spine, lift your sternum towards your chin and your chin towards the sky. Bridge pose. Now you're welcome to stay there with your hands down. You can put your palms facing in. You can grab your ankles or interlace your hands, whatever feels right for you today. But keep that activation in your inner thighs, glutes active, tailbone lengthens towards knees, and drive whatever is touching the ground down. And try to find that same Sphinx pose activation in your hamstrings. Take an inhale. Stay here for your exhale. One more breath in. And exhale, if your hands are bound, unbind, come down. And just hold that for a moment, that stillness, and just watch the sensation leave, watch the work dissipate. Part of the work is that cognizant awareness, that conscious effort on paying attention to all the things. Okay. Rounds 2 and 3, I'm going to give you several options. So round 2, you can come into bridge pose again, just like we did. Or if you'd like to take it a step further, I'm going to push your wheel a little bit more further than normal. So again, bring your feet hip-width distance apart, work your spine, your hips, towards the ankles, not the other way around. If you're coming into bridge, wait until I say lift up and then come up with us. Otherwise, if you're coming into wheel, reach your arms up like you're going into plank, extend the wrists. And then bend your right elbow, lift your right shoulder up away from the mat, and tuck your right hand under the right shoulder. and bring it down. And then same thing with the left one. Bend the left elbow, lift your left shoulder up, tuck the hand under the shoulder. Now, this is going to be very challenging for you to lift up. You may have to come to the top of your head, so that's the first variation we will do. And imagine fanning the part with your heels, engage your glutes, lift your hips up and spine up first, and push into your hands, bring the top of your head to the ground. Then don't let the elbows flay out, squeeze them in, and push up. Urdhva Dhanurasana wheel pose. And then grip the mat with your feet, lift the inner arches of your feet, lift your outer hips up more towards your chest, and lift your chest towards your shoulders. Push into the inner palms, take an inhale. And stay here for the exhale. To come out of this, lift your heels up first, and then start to shift your knees forward, slowly bending the elbows, tucking the chin. Ooh, one more. I didn't get to see because I was upside down. How many people did that one? Maybe, not many. I don't know. Let's just do this. And squeeze the mat with your feet. Now, you can take all of this variation from bridge pose. Or if you want to push it even farther, come up into a wheel. If you want to push it a little bit farther, you can do what I'm going to do next, which is from wheel. So same thing, hips towards your ankles. Wait until I say lift up for those of you staying in bridge. And tuck the arms under. Squeeze the elbows and don't let go. Top of your head, elbows in, push, and then start to lift your outer hips up. Now, if you're in bridge, you can do all of the same things in bridge that we're about to do in wheel. Grip the mat with your left toes a lot. Really lift the inner arch of your feet. Lift your hips up. Option to lift your right heel up. From there, option to lift the right foot up and bring the right knee into the chest. Then turn the knee out, and then option to straighten the right leg. Hold for 3, wherever you are. For 2, for 1, bend the knee, place the foot down, lift your heels, and then glue the right foot down. And then lift, keep the left foot up. Option knee into chest, knee out, push and straighten the leg. We're not down yet. Hold for 3. For 2. For 1, both feet down, both heels up, bend the knees, come down wherever you are. And then shake the hips back and forth, shake the knees back and forth. Yeah, back bends, there's your espresso for the day. Send your hips over to the right about 6 inches. Lengthen your left leg forward like you're standing, so flex the foot. Hug your right knee in, keep your right shoulder grounded, and twist. Let the right knee fall open. And twist as far as you want. It's up to you. Try to keep the right shoulder grounded, but find lots of length through the right side body. Tone your belly towards the left hip. And slowly bring the knee up. Bring the foot down, center your hips again, and then place them over to the left, about 6 inches. Straighten the right leg forward, hug your left knee in. And then let it twist to the right. Take any version of this. That feels good. I'm gonna try to find lots of side body length. And slowly bring the knee up. And hug both knees into the chest. And take some little low back circles. Rock and roll up into a seat. And take a comfortable cross of your legs. And take a gentle twist to the right. And broad collarbones. Then to the left. And unwind, bringing your hips into the center of your mat. Straighten both legs forward. Lengthen your sitting bones back. Reach your peace fingers down for your big toes, even if your knees are bent. And send the inner ankles forward. Tone your kneecaps up. Pull your hip creases back. Lift your chest up. Take an inhale. Tone your belly. And exhale, bend your elbows and fold over your legs. Paschimottanasana. And try to keep all of that activation. Inhale, halfway lift. Option to go deeper or stay here or relax. You can wrap your hands around the feet. Take a bind and exhale, fold. Deep breaths in and out. What does the work feel like now? Maybe honoring that there's a lot of work to do, that we are all in progress, that we are all a work in progress, and that we never ever stop being that. You never ever get there. That's the liberating part, when we realize that doing the work and being in the work and being a work in progress is the beautiful part of it. It's liberating. And slowly come back up. And bring your hands behind you, fingertips face your pelvis, bend your knees. Place your feet to the ground just to reverse that. Pop the booty out a little bit. This is a back bend. Lift your ribs up. Reverse tabletop. And slowly come down. Bring your feet forward slightly and just round over your shins. And lift up. And let your knees fall open. And bring your feet to ear width distance apart. So like you could put your head right in between your feet, and your knees are about at a 45-degree angle. So like a diamond. And then lift your hips up and send your sitting bones back so that your pelvis tilts forward, and then place your hips back down. Reach forward and grab your shins or ankles. Engage your glutes and roll your sitting bones back more. And then just like we did where we squeezed our fingertips back, instead of the fingertips, pull your chest forward, lift it up. And tone your tailbone in, and drive the pinky toe side edges of your feet down into the mat, and let the feet actually help pull your hips even more back. Take an inhale. And on your exhale, slowly start to fold in between the thighs, trying to place your forehead right in between your feet. Don't lose any of that activation. Nice, Jen. Beautiful. Casey. Very nice, Maria. Take an inhale. And slow exhale. And inhale, slowly come up. Only because we're here and because I like it. Bring your feet in a little bit more. And squeeze your knees in. Grab your peace fingers to your big toes. Lean back. And walk your feet in more. Maybe hover your feet. And once your feet are hovering, lift your chest up, just like we did before. Really think about the front of the body getting longer. Take an inhale. And see what it feels like to move into Upavishta, lengthening the legs out. And a big old wide V. Chest continues to lift up. Push feet into hands, hands pull back, chest lifts, drishti up. And then moving from here, keep your chest lifted, maybe bring the feet together. Take an inhale for Abaya Konasana. Abaya. Stay for the exhale. Bend your knees, place your feet down, and roll down to your back. Lengthen your legs up towards the sky, wrap your hands around your outer thighs, take a moment to receive. If there's another symmetrical shape that you would like, you're welcome to take that as well. Plow pose, happy baby. You can hug the knees back into the chest. Slowly lengthen your legs forward. Moving into whatever shape you'd like to take for your Shavasana, you can take whatever is most comfortable to you. It can be a seated meditation even. Take a moment to find some softness. I will guide you out of Shavasana, so feel comfortable that I'm here with you. And take a giant breath in. Hold it for a moment. And let it go. Rest. Begin to deepen your breath. Find a softness that allows you to absorb the rest of the work that you've done today and bring it with you. It doesn't end here. It doesn't end ever. We will together work, be in progress, be works in progress. Bring your body back to life, stretch everything out. Taking the next 3 or 4 breaths to bring yourself into a seat. And hands in Anjali Mudra. Allow yourself the space to not know, to mess up, to be in the work is the point. Keep it going. Continue to be in progress. And take this work that we do together here and don't let it stop here. Take it into the rest of your day. Hold this moment and these people and these shapes and these meanings sacred so that you can bring that sacred space into everywhere you go. Take a deep breath in and let it go. Namaste.